City workers spend up to 90% of their time indoors, much of it in glassed-in, air-conditioned buildings. Virtual biospheres populated by hundreds, sometimes thousands of employees, all breathing air sucked in from the city below. This is a plant room of a typical air-conditioned office building. Now, outside air is sucked into this filtration system, and these filters are the only thing that stand between any pollution outside and the air pumped indoors. Professor Lydia Morawska tested the air in a city office building to see if the filters really did block out external pollution, especially the ultra-fine particles from car exhausts.
Those particles, being very small, very light, can follow the airflow deep into our lung.
An ultrafine particle is less than 1/10 of a micron. If you picture a millimetre, that's equal to 1,000 microns. Now, we have health guidelines for pollution from fine particles between 2.5 and 0.1 of a micron, but none for ultrafine particles less than 0.1 of a micron. That's small enough to go through the lungs into the bloodstream and be transported around the body where it can cause serious harm.
There are good evidence of cardiovascular disease, damage to the heart, also cerebrovascular disease, damage to the brain.
It's been known for some time that ultrafine particles from vehicle exhausts are harmful. So when Lydia's team found high concentrations indoors, they were extremely concerned.
What we found was that at times concentration inside was up to 5 times higher than concentration outside.
So how could that be? Perhaps if the particles were emitted within the office and air was constantly recycled, their levels would build up.
Particles, they pass through the lung cavity, hitch a ride on the blood vessel and deposit themselves elsewhere in the body, where they are up to 50 times more damaging than large particles. That's the small fine air particles that you cannot see. And these are new-found leading scientific information that's coming from the UK, and in fact 10,000 premature deaths in the UK alone. That is every single year. Do you sneeze? Do you have watery eyes? Do you have, a shortness of breath, lethargy, dizzy, lethargic? Do you have any of those issues? Then you may well be leading down that path, which is a cumulative and a long ongoing effect of those fine particles going into your lungs. You cannot see them. They're 5 times worse than the air that you're breathing outside. And of course, the evidence is absolutely conclusive.
But I like to have my house really smelling nice, and we've got 2 dogs. So I didn't want to use any chemicals. And when I saw it, I thought, well, this could be a good solution. Although my dog's very clean, they're inside dog, but you still get the pet smells, and just cooking smells and that as well. It just gets rid of all that, normal house smells, I guess. You get used to it until you have the tower on, and then you realise, wow, it could be a bit fresher. I put mine in the corner, on top of a shelf, it's sort of covered, no one really notices. I haven't had one person come in and said, what's that? I guess it just looks like an ornament.
Well, the advertisement on the TV was really good, convincing that it was the product to buy. So I went from there and bought it off the TVSN. Living on a property, we get the smells from the horses and the cattle, and it wafts through the house. And with the tower, we have no more smells in the house. The house smells beautiful. I have it in the lounge. We have a lounge, a big lounge dining combined. I have it in the corner on a nice little table, and it just wafts right through the place. Oh yeah, it's like living in fresh air. It's a beautiful product to have in your home. It's not noticeable, and I think people come into my house, because it's such a beautiful house anyway, they think the smell goes with the luxury of the home. They just sort of think, well, the house is beautiful, clean as a new pin, smells lovely. So yeah, don't hesitate. It's the best thing you can buy for purification and lovely fragrance. Well, it's not really a fragrance, it's like a fresh storm. You know, when you've had a rainstorm and it's lovely, you go outside to smell the fresh air. It's really lovely. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's a great product. Yeah, and purifies your home, keeps all the germs out, and you know, you never get sick. That's another good thing with it. Well, we're never sick. Hadn't had colds since I've had the product. Everybody out there, go and buy one because your life will change.
I like to have a kind of a clean environment. It takes away the smell, especially. Now with the baby, I think it's also safe for her to have a very clean environment. I mean, it's one thing that they put things in their mouth, but at least from my side, I just want to make sure that everything is perfect for her. I used to have it in the kitchen, but I moved that to the baby's room, so I keep it next to her crib. It's kind of, doesn't make too much noise, so it's very, very gentle and peaceful. What I do notice is the dust has kind of come down. There's a lot